Now.
Right when I said now. So I was asking Lori because before I had a little thing where I could switch my camera the other way, and I'm not seeing it on the screen. We were kind of hoping that maybe it would show up when we went live, but it hasn't, which is fine. I will just take my phone off the stand and it'll be a bit jumbly until I get it set up the other way.
Well, everyone is used to being a bit jumbly, which is, I guess, a good
Okay.
thing. Oh my God. We're always jumbly. It's
Yeah,
jumble.
yeah. As long as, yeah.
That's kind of the
Yeah,
way.
it won't be as smooth as I'd like it, but the transition, but that's okay.
No
But
problem.
yeah,
Becky
how are
is
you doing?
on, and Heather.
Oh, hi. Why am I not seeing anything?
I
As
just,
long as they see me, I'm not. Oh, you'll read out the questions if there's any, right?
yeah, and they're all just popping on now. There's a delay.
Okay.
Cynthia, Carol, Sue, welcome, welcome. Lynn, Grammy, Pammy, Sweetery.
Grammy Courtney.
Where's Weirton, West Virginia? I don't know where that is. And Jackie, I'm working on your stuff tonight. It's been a day of nothing happening. And Becky loves your hair, and so do I. I just couldn't get a word edgewise with you and Lori chatting.
I just cut it.
You look beautiful.
Not exactly what I wanted, but it'll do.
Oh,
She left it a little longer in the back. I wanted it just really straight across. It's okay.
Well, you don't get to see the back
you.
of you. Everybody else has to look at the back.
I know, but I always check with the mirror and then I'm like, oh, drives me crazy. I might go on Friday and get her to just trim the back a little bit more. Because it's driving me nuts.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Heather says you're beautiful inside and out.
Heather, salmon?
Yeah.
Salmon?
Yeah, the salmon mammon. The crazy salmon.
Yeah. My
Jennifer.
fellow Canuck.
Yep. You Canadians.
Yep.
I gave her so much crap when she was at the Simi retreat with me. Everything with the accent, because she's further. She's got a stronger
east. So Eastern Canada, they have stronger accents than.
Yeah. I just like to be able to give her a hard time.
Yeah. Where was the Simi retreat at?
It was in Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. You guys got like a little vacay out of it, sort of?
Oh yeah. That's weather. Like, oh my gosh. It was actually cold for Florida, although I'm like, why are you all freezing? But and Heather felt the same way. But it was just, that retreat it's fun because you get a little education, but it's really relaxed. It's a lot of fun. It's much more laid back. You actually get to spend time with people, which is what I like.
Yeah. Well, I love that takes the cake for that too, even though it's super busy and like judging is, we sometimes don't finish till 7:30 at night, but there's restaurants across the street.
Exactly.
And it doesn't matter what time you finish. Everybody just kind of strolls across the street and a lot of good food. A lot of good food. Yeah.
Hey guys, as you come on, if you don't mind sharing, that would be great. Today, let's see, we got Tanya and Sherry and Bev, Crazy Bev. And you're in the panhandle between Ohio and Pennsylvania. So Grammy, you are close to Carol Fisher then, right up in there. She's actually on the Ohio side. So I hope you are not too close to that train thing that happened there. Leslie, welcome. Julie, welcome. Carmela, I haven't seen you for a while. Jennifer Frey, right down the street from me.
That's
Sherry,
handy.
Huh?
That's handy.
I know, literally right down the street. We're both like, whenever we need each other, we're like, okay, I'll pop right over. Carol Fisher. Sherry says there's something fishy about Heather, which there is.
Let me guess. That's Sherry Chisholm, right?
Yes.
Yes. I know her humor anywhere.
Let's see. Nina says, you are looking fantabulous.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Tanya says, SoFlo is coming. Icing Images is going to be there. You bet your bottom dollar will be there. We're going to be in Austin at SoFlo, and the night SoFlo ends, we're heading up to Ohio for CookieCon. So that's awesome. Let's see. Mitchie, hello. Sue says, Susan, are those rolling pins on the wall?
Oh, yes, they are. So they.
Oh, I thought they were wine bottles.
No, it's a wine bottle holder, but I have all antique rolling pins in the holder. Okay. And then my Christmas banner, I just turned it backwards, and it's just red for Valentine's.
Oh, perfect.
On the other side, it says Merry Christmas.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
I have some Valentine-y stuff over there, so I just turned it around backwards.
That works. It works, you know. What a better way to do it, you know?
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, Jennifer says it is very handy. Tara says hello from Connecticut. Alicia is here. Oh, Tina, look at this. Look what I got. Thanks to you. Meet Cosmo. Tina's the one who did it to me. She brought her puppy to the retreat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My daughter just got a puppy, and I went with her to see the litter. And I've always said I'll never have a dog just because there's so much work and it's not fair and I'm not home enough. And I almost brought one home.
I felt the same way. But I actually, so it was easy. It's easier now. Like he's training, learning something new every day. Oh, sorry. I woke him up. Learning something new every day. And because it's like I don't have kids I'm chasing, you know. So it's it's different when you're older. So
sure is.
Evelyn, I know.
We couldn't chase them if we tried.
No more. And the dogs listen. He's already he comes to about 5 different names.
Yeah.
Tanya, there is the first CookieCon is in Ohio in the beginning of May, and the second one, you're thinking Miami. Miami is SoFlo, and then there's another CookieCon at the end of summer in Orlando, and there's that takes the cake in Austin. That's at the end of March. So let's see. Oh my gosh, everybody's on. Oh, sorry, Jennifer here. Cosmo Kramer. Sorry, I'm trying to read down.
Is that who he's named after, Cosmo Kramer?
Well, he kind of has the hair, and he slides in the room like Cosmo Kramer opens the door. So he wants to.
That's one of my favorite. Well, it is my favorite show of all time.
Yeah.
Seinfeld. Yeah. So good name.
I know. I love Seinfeld. Tanya, SoFlo is in Miami. So, Tina, so we want to breed the 2 puppies. They're both runts. I understand we're not allowed to do that. He's not fixed yet. Could you imagine? No, we can't do that. It would not be responsible, but it would be cute. All right. We are talking too much.
So, okay. You tell me when you want me to flip the camera around and.
Yeah, well, let's do some intro. And Jennifer Frey, there is not a coupon for the puppy, but there is a coupon for Susan. It's scrolling around the bottom right now for you. 10% off any supplies, and the coupon code is there. It's good for a week, guys. So as you guys know, you know me, I'm Debbie. I'm the founder of Icing Images, and I'm excited to be here with y'all. Lots of friends on this group. And I'm excited because one of my favorite peeps is on with me, Susan Trianos. I absolutely adore her, and she knows that. And I just go on and how awesome she is. If you've ever hung around her, she's very calming. Like you just want to touch her, like hold her arm, and you'll be like,
My husband doesn't find me very calming.
well, the rest of us do.
Good. That's all that matters.
The rest of us do. And not only is she a very calm, have a calming aura about her, she is an amazing and talented instructor, cake decorator. You've been judges. You've done it all. And so I am ready because I'm excited what you're doing because there's a huge need for what you're doing today. Can you explain? I'm going to let you explain what you're doing.
Yeah. So, hi, everybody. Thank you for having me, Deb. You're one of my favorite people, too.
But I'm not calming. I'm crazy.
Calming. No, you're not calming, but you are nurturing.
Oh.
There's something, nurturing about you.
Okay.
Which is, yeah. So today I'm going to be working on some cookies using edible images that I printed on Smart Sheets. And Smart Sheets are, over the past year, kind of new to me. I always just use like Flex Frost. I'm a huge fan of Flex Frost. But I really love the Smart Sheets because they don't dry and crack like ever. It's amazing. I have one here just to show everybody. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with them if you watch these videos with Deb every week, but this is a Smart Sheet. Ooh. And it's a A4 size, right,
yes,
Deb?
Yes, yep.
It's got a rougher side and it's got a smooth side. Some of the cookies the samples that I did, I printed purposely on the rough side and some on the smooth. And honestly, I kind of like them both. It really all depends on what you guys like. And what I also love about them is they print really like saturated. Like the red is red, the yellow is yellow. You know what I mean? Like they really like absorb the edible inks. So I'm going to switch my camera around. And what I'm showing you today basically is going to be using edible images to decorate your cookies. And if you have a Big Blue or the smaller ones, I forget what they're called, or if you're thinking about investing in one, the techniques that I'm doing today, you can certainly do using the direct to food printers that Deb has as well. And before we went live, I was chatting with her and asked her about the saturation of color. And because that's like a huge pet peeve for me when things print off like really like bland. And she said it's super saturated. So I can't wait to see it in action because I think the first time I saw it, I don't know if you actually had it running at the show or it was just there on display. I don't remember. But anyway, I'm going to get to see it in Austin. So this is just, if you've got, let's say you're a decorator that you're doing some cookies and you're not confident in your skills yet, or if you have to do mass amounts of cookies, or if you have to do logos, like this is the way to go, because then to do a logo using your projector and hand piping and all of that, yes, it's lovely, but if you had to do 200, it wouldn't be so much fun. So
it's fine for the first 10, but the last 10, you're like dying.
And as you go, they get sloppier and sloppier. At least with me, they do.
Yeah.
So we're just going to take edible images or images that are printed right on a cookie and then take them to the next level so that it's just not an image or just not a print. So we're going to add a few things and I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to actually, I don't have a little button on my screen to flip the camera. So this might be a little, you might get a little nauseous when I
We're
do
going to get
this.
wonky here.
Yeah,
And,
we're going to get wonky.
Lori's going to take me off screen. So that way you'll have that whole screen to fill up. It'll make it a little easier.
All right. All
Come
right.
on, Lori, take me off.
Plug
Okay,
my
there we go.
phone here.
All right. So what's really great, it's funny because I've seen some topics come up on some of the forums. Hello again.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. We always like to look at you. There you go.
Can you see my counter?
We can see your counter. We want to turn it, I would say rotate it 90 degrees clockwise.
This way?
Yeah. Okay. Keep going a little further. And then, too far. It was little back, little back, little back, little back, little more. Little teeny. Stop. And then move it to your right.
This way?
Nope, the other right. I'm sorry, your left. I said it wrong. And then if you can bring it up a little bit, that will help us see more.
Okay. So I'm going to, so am I vertical or
you're horizontal?
Portrait.
You're perfect. Okay. You're perfect. We can see the bottom of, okay, there we go.
Oh, now, I'm going to get the stand and then I'll adjust.
Okay. And she will be back. She hit the button. So I'm going to keep talking real quick while she jumps back up. She's back. Yay! You didn't hit the button.
No. Siri was talking to me for a second. So how's that, Deb?
That is good. The bottom part of your heart, the very bottom is off screen, but the rest of it is on. Now it's all on screen perfectly and centered.
Awesome. Okay.
I do want to say something though, because what I was noticing on some of the chat rooms is people talking about the fact that they don't consider edible printing on cookies and art. And it used to be that way with cakes a long time ago. It's just the cookie world is just coming into that. It's different for everybody. And so while something may be great for you, it may not be for somebody else. But what I like, what you're going to show today is how you add dimension to it. So it's just not flat. So I'm going to stop talking.
And honestly, too, like there's room for everything and there's a purpose for everything. I consider myself a more of an advanced decorator. But I see nothing wrong in using these once in a while. If it suits my purpose, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So,
and a lot of people buy them for volume. Like you were talking about 200 cookies is a lot.
Yeah. So, what I did, I love Procreate and I, brought these images into Procreate and I made cutters that would fit let me get the proper cutter here. Like I mentioned to you, Deb, I have 7 3D printers now, but I made a cutter that would fit my image as well. Not necessary. You could put this on a rectangular cookie equally as well. No big deal. But you can, if there's anybody out there that has 3D printers, you can do your outline of your cutter in Procreate and then size your image so that it fits pretty much like maybe 1/8 of an inch smaller than your cutter and you're good. But again, that's not necessary. So I have here, this image here was printed on the smooth side of the paper. I'm going to bring it up. I don't know if you can see that, but it's really nice and smooth. And then I have this one that was printed on the rougher side. And I kind of love the texture of this too. Both stick equally as well. And you don't have to, just use whatever size you like. Now, if you have a Cricut machine, I would recommend doing a print then cut so that you don't have to, I love this term, scrapbookers use it. They call it fussy cutting. when you're going around all these little edges and hand cutting all your images, which takes some time. But if you're sitting around watching a movie or a series on Netflix, do it while you're watching TV. But print then cut would be amazing, because you could just print off all of your images on your sheet and then have Cricut cut out your outlines perfectly.
And you have all those machines, but not a Cricut?
I do have a Cricut.
Oh, okay.
I have one. I have 2 Cricut cakes, and I have 1 old Cricut, and I have a Cricut maker.
So the Cricut cake is not considered old to you?
Yeah, it's old. I love my Cricut cake. I love it. I know a lot of people struggled with it, but it's one of those things, once you learn that, get through that learning curve, like you never screw up again. It's amazing for doing fonts on cakes and things like that. But now you've got all the stuff to use, like the food safe mat, which is great.
Yes.
Because as we all know, Cricut cake is no more.
Right.
But you've got all the supplies to turn any Cricut into a Cricut cake.
Exactly.
And no cartridges required.
No.
So I'm going to move this out of the way. Actually, I'm going to keep those up here and just get my display out of the way. And if you hear things bouncing on the floor, it's my cinnamon hearts. We all know what that sounds like when our dragees and stuff bounce on the floor. And if you have a pet, they run for them.
Denise Chambers is here. Hey, sweetie.
Hello, hello. So my dear friend Sherry, who was made that pun about Heather Salmon, she's watching. And I recently printed some edible images for her, for some logo cookies that she had to do for an order. Mm-hmm. And I think she had to do around 200. So I did them for her on the smart sheets. And I asked her how everything went, because she's not far from me either, just like your buddy there, Deb. Mm-hmm. And she says, oh, it just, because of the moisture, the paper wanted to curl. So I have a trick for that not to happen. So I'm going to put this aside. I'm not going to make you guys watch me cut that out. And I have there's some images here. And, oops, let's just move these right out of the way and slide my parchment. Okay. So here are some cookies that I baked. And let me know if I'm ever out of the camera, Deb.
Oh, well, you're doing great. No worries.
Okay, perfect. So, and is the color lighting okay?
Yeah, it seems to be.
Because I can turn another light on, but I'll have huge shadows.
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
Thank you.
So this recipe, if anyone's interested, is super yummy. It's strawberry lemonade. And if you go to my website, learn2cake.com, and 2 is a T-O, not the number 2, learn2cake.com. And the recipe is there. If you just search strawberry, it will pop up. But it's strawberry lemonade, and it's super yummy, just in case anyone wants to make some. So I have some cookies here that I did with the cutters that I made to match my vintage Valentines. And I know there's probably some people on this watching that remember these from when they were little. I certainly do. I'm definitely old enough to remember these vintage Valentines from way back in the day. This one's a little smaller than my cookie, and that's fine too. But I'm going to show you how I attach these so that they stay put and nice and flat, and they fit very well. So what I've got here, I have some royal icing. And at first I was flooding the cookie and then attaching. And I'm not one that likes a ton of icing, and I tend to bake my cookies on the thinner side, about 1/4 of an inch. So I don't like to have a ton of icing. So what I did was rather than flooding or dipping, I'm going to get some gloves on here. I basically take my cookie and I dip my finger in the icing. Lots of fun. And I finger paint and I just spread it to the edge. And that way I'm getting less icing than I would by flooding, for sure, and less icing than if I were to dip the cookie. Because the icing sheet in itself is icing too, right? So I just like to get enough on there, like I can still see the cookie. The icing goes right to the edge. And let me know if I need to bring the camera in closer. And then from there, I take my image and I just place it on like so. Now, as soon as it hits the moisture, the edges do want to curl a little bit, but what I do, I just do that. And that solves the problem. And I let them dry face down and everything dries really nice and flush. And I have one here to show you. So nice and flat and smooth. Okay. If you were doing a full cookie and the image didn't cover the entire surface, that is when I would either dip the cookie or flood it and get a really nice smooth finish. And then I would use piping gel or something like that once the cookie is dry to attach the image. And again, if you get any curling or anything, you can just put it flat because the rest of your cookie, the flooding or the dipping would have dried before you attached the image. Does that make sense? Deb, are you there? I didn't lose you guys, did I? Oh, I hear you. I'm back.
Hi, sorry. I went away. You were fine. So I lost internet.
Okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
Oh,
I lost internet.
Okay. All right.
So that's why I'm like trying to get on. So
okay, I'm going to put the camera back and
yes.
So nobody missed anything then.
No, just me. I have no idea what you said. All right, we'll get you back positioned.
I think, I can kind of see. Let me just move the, nope, wrong way.
You want to turn counterclockwise, I think.
Oh, do I?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Am I upside down?
You're sidewards. So you want to move,
so
actually it's clockwise, I think.
Clockwise. Okay.
From you.
Let me see.
No, it's the other clockwise. The other clockwise.
Counterclockwise. We'll get there. We'll get there. Ah,
there we go. All right, that's my puppy.
Well, I dropped something. Okay, how are we now?
Okay, so we need to slide you back in just a little bit. Slide the whole thing to your right, your other right. There we go. And then, no, the other way. The right, okay. Yeah. Okay, and then forward, away from you. Okay, and just back about a half an inch. Good. Okay, we're there.
Okay, awesome. Good.
Sorry about that, guys.
That's okay. Oh, well, yeah, I'm sorry too. So that will just dry, flipped upside down, no problem, like so. So I'm going to do that again. And let's do that with this guy. I like you so much. So I'm going to remove
thank you.
remove the image and just putting, oops, a really light coat of icing on the cookie. I love finger painting.
So you didn't have to even be all that perfect floody with it, right?
Not at all, because I did make the cutter to match the size of the image. There's going to be no negative space. Now, I was saying, I think I lost you while I was saying that, but my friend Sherry had to do a cookie and the image was smaller than the entire size of the cookie.
Okay.
So in that instance, I would say flood the entire cookie or dip it. Then once it's dry, add your image so that you can turn it upside down or whatever if you need it to be super flat, if it starts to curl up on you. Okay. And there's this one. This one seems to want to lay a little more flat than this one did. This one was curling up almost right away, but that solves that problem. So I'm just going to flip this one too, just in case. There we go. And then I won't make you watch me flood or finger paint anymore. So I'm going to actually take my gloves off now because I'm one of those people, I have a hard time working with gloves, but I didn't want to get my hands all goopy in the icing. So there we go.
That's why you lick them afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of like this recipe, if anyone does make this recipe and you make your royal icing, add a little bit of lemon juice, like maybe 50% of the water that you put in your royal icing. Replace it with lemon juice, half of it, and it will be really yummy and tart and cut down on the sweetness of your cookies too. Yummy. I think it's yummy anyway. Okay, so I'm going to move these out of the way and we're going to start to embellish these a little bit. So where's my paper towel? And if anyone has any questions, please just key them in and Deb will read them out to me. Okay, so bear with me. And if you hear me yelp and say, ouch, ignore me. It's just my hip. All right. So here's what we have here. So what I did with some of these is I added some of these edible glitter pearls, which I love. And I think I now have 34 or 35 different colors in stock. And I love to mix them. Like if you look at this cookie here, I'm using white, silver, black, and like a charcoal gray. And I've, to give it some shading. And here it is. And the little peas here, I've got light green in the middle and dark green around the edge. But what I did to kind of jazz these up, I added the little glitter pearls. You can use dragées. You can just use dots of royal icing. This one, for instance, I piped over the thread so the thread would have more dimension. And the lettering, because it was already printed on the cookie, as we all know, we all suck at lettering, at least I do. But when it's already printed and you're just tracing over it, it's going to look nice. So I've traced over with my royal icing to give some dimension. And Be My Valentine, I just piped little red dots so it looked like cross stitch, and then added my little pearls. This one, I've piped over the big pea pod to give it dimension and around the leaves. Added my little pearls for his eyes and around the peas. And High Podner, I wrote over the top of the cookie. Let's Be Valentines, you could pipe over that as well too. You could pipe over any part of this image that you want to stand out. Like I could have piped over the hats. I could have piped her eyes here with eyelashes, her lips. And then that way too, you don't need to be an artist because you're just kind of following a pattern that's already there. This one here, I added the little glitter pearls for the heart. Cupid's hair, I'm going to bring it way up so you can see. There we go. I piped his hair in yellow and I added all the extra little dots and things like that in the lace of the box. And I added a little like swirl on top of all the candies. So, you know, even though some people might say, you know, this is all cheating to just use images or direct to food printers,
Yeah.
it's not.
No.
There's
I don't
still
think
skill in the baking. There's still skill in getting your colors right, or your keeping your printer going like we all should, printing once a week. There's work involved. It's not cheating.
Right.
And
And so
you,
I wanted to, can you hear me okay? I'm sorry.
yeah,
Okay, because we have questions and stuff too that
sure.
I was trying to get everything kind of
Yeah.
fixed on my side, so I apologize. What one thing I want to comment on with the images is what's changing a lot, and I'm seeing more and more customers do this. Is they're using the, just like you did, the image is a part of it. It's not the whole thing. And
Yeah.
there becomes more and more, especially what you did. You were doing you made a 3D cutter. So you're doing graphics as well. Actually, graphic designing is coming in. It's changing the industry. It's so much fun to watch everybody create things. So there's a need for it for sure.
And the amount that you add is up to you. Like, you can go crazy and rewrite every single word that's printed here, pipe over his eyes as much as you want. There's no limit to what you can do. Yeah. Now, this guy I really love. So that's the original. Oops. There we go. And I redid the straw. I'm going to turn this sideways. I don't know if you can see the straw, a little straw done out of fondant.
Yeah.
And like, if you saw this in person, the straw is so stinking cute.
Yeah. We can see it. We can see the detail on it.
Yeah. So, you know, I piped his nose. There's all kinds of things you can do. I took a marker and I outlined around his tongue. You know, it's really endless. So I'm going to get to the part where I'm going to embellish this guy here. And I'm going to bring, and you tell me if you can still see. I'm going to work in this area, Deb. Am I still? Okay.
Yep. The top of your fingers. Now the hand part was not in the center. Now those two cookies are fine.
Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to work on this one here. And I'm going to show you some stuff that's really kind of cool, because I don't want to, I know there's some people use tweezers. I'm just looking for my paintbrush here. There it is. Tweezers.
Can you tell me about your glitter pearls?
Oh, yes, I can. So they are edible and they are made from cornstarch. They are not super hard and crunchy. Like, I'm going to eat one. They're crunchy, but they're not like teeth breaking crunchy. They're like just as crunchy as your royal icing would be. And they are edible. And I have like so many colors. This is only just a fraction of what I have. And yeah, so they're on the website too. So if anyone is interested, just go to learntocake.com and in the search, put glitter pearls and they will all pop up. There's magenta. I can't even go over how many colors there are. But speaking of those, when I put them on my cookies or my cakes, I was using tweezers, and what a pain in the butt. And I know there are tools out there that can pick up little pearls and things like that. But out of desperation, I came up with this. And everybody will have one of these, I'm sure, that does cookies. But see the little paint your own brush? this is what I use to get all of my little pearls onto my cookies and my cakes. So to do that, I have a bag with some piping jelly. We all know piping jelly is like the best kind of glue out there, right? So I'm going to just cut a little hole in my bag. And what I'm going to do is wherever I want these little pearls to be, I'm going to pipe just a thin line, really thin. This would be like cutting the bag, like having a 0 tip, really small. You don't need much. And then with the pearls, this is my tool to stick them on. And what I do is after I pipe my piping gel, I get just a little bit of piping gel on the end of my brush. And instead of dipping right in my container, I pour some in the lid, because if I just put this in the container, all the pearls will just move around and nothing will stick. With them, oh, is that Cosmo?
It's Cosmo.
Atta boy. Show her who's boss, puppy. Okay, so I put the pearls in the lid so that when I push down on the pearl to pick it up, there's something hard underneath to, to give resistance so that the little pearl does stick. Can you guys see that? Little guy there? Are you there, Deb?
I'm here, but
okay.
I saw what you did. Then yeah, look at that. Perfect.
Yeah. So what you want is you want your cookie to be stickier than the end of your brush so that when you place this down, it sticks to the cookie and doesn't lift up with the brush again. And one dip of the brush in the piping gel will pick up a good amount of pearls. Like you'll get, 5, 6, 7, maybe even up to 10 pearls to stick on the end of the brush. And then once they stop sticking, wherever I piped the piping gel, I just kind of dab a little bit and kind of reload the end of my brush. And I just sit. And this is kind of really soothing, believe it or not. Does anybody do diamond painting? You know, those pictures that are sort of like paint by number, but you add the little crystals?
Yeah, no, I've never done that personally, but I bet there's.
Oh, my goodness. Like you can get lost in it. I have one that I started a long time ago that I haven't finished, but when I was working on it, that's all I did for a week. And my husband, Gary, was like, are you going to like do anything this week other than that?
I would love to do that, actually.
It's really, really therapeutic. And I find this is too. Now, if you put a glitter pearl down and you don't really like how it's positioned, you can just use the brush end. Just kind of push them around like so. I'm going to finish just this part of the heart, and then I'll move on and I'll start piping some little things on. Oops.
I love the gadget. It's like the
Right?
simplest thing in the world.
Yeah. So we have a dollar store here in Canada called Dollarama. And if anybody that's watching from the States comes to Canada, I highly recommend you go. Like Nick Lodge, when he would come to Canada, that would be one of his first stops. It's an amazing dollar store, but they should sponsor me, because so many of my tools are just like things that I find at Dollarama. So there, and are we close enough? Do you want me to come closer?
You're doing, it's perfect. I wouldn't mess with it.
Okay. Yeah. And I just messed with it.
I'm always afraid, don't mess with it. It's good.
Okay. So I'm going to get some white here. And I have in my bag icing that is like a soft peak consistency. And soft peak I like to call marshmallow fluff. So when you get a jar of marshmallow fluff and you mix it up, it's the same kind of consistency.
Got it. Julie has a question.
Yeah.
She wants to know, why did you choose the smart sheet and not the icing sheet?
I chose the smart sheet because that's what I have here. And I love like I have Flex Frost. So I sell
Mm-hmm.
Flex Frost. I sell wafer paper. I sell smart sheets. And I just love the smart sheet for the simple fact that you can do it's so versatile. Not saying that the icing sheet isn't,
No.
but I just love the amount of things that you can do with the smart sheet. The smart sheet. I love that the color is super saturated on them. I love that they don't crack or like I just got a new shipment in and I have a few sheets left from my shipment from last year in a package that I didn't close all that well, and it's still super pliable.
Yeah. It's kind of a preference thing more than anything else, but
Exactly. Yep. Yep. And
the
for me,
smooth,
that's my preference. That's all.
yeah, for the smooth side, when you print on that smooth side, it's gorgeous.
It's
But it is sugar free as well. So there's
oh, there
well,
you go.
yeah, everything's
I
different.
did not know that.
Yep, totally sugar free. That has no flavor. It doesn't
Amazing.
taste like anything.
I'm
Whereas
gonna,
icing sheets taste vanilla-y.
is that too much light?
You created more shadows. You were good the way you were.
Okay.
Stop messing with things.
All right. Because for me, the phone adjusts for us, right? Like for me,
Yeah.
it's super dark in my kitchen, but I know that it does adjust lighting and all of that for
Yeah.
on the camera. So I'm going to turn this a little bit so that there's no shadow on the high podner here. But I have a tiny little hole in my bag, probably too tiny. It's better to start with a really small hole and go cut a little bigger if you need to. But again, like a 0, really small. And I'm just going to trace right over this lettering. And my icing is not really runny. It's that marshmallow fluff consistency, because the worst thing is when you're trying to do really small lettering is your letters just kind of blend together because the icing is spreading. But a nice soft peak is perfect for this. And then if you follow the lines well, people will think, wow, she's really good with her lettering. I'm terrible at lettering.
And I know one of the big blue owners was actually, she's a little blue owner.
Yeah.
She loves it because she said there's no way that I could get the clarity of the letters with hand piping when they're really, really tiny. I mean, smaller than that even.
Even if you have a projector, when they're really tiny, they're hard to see.
Yeah.
Because projectors aren't super, super clear. At least the one that I have isn't. But yeah. The puppy. So I can trace right over the lettering. If I had black lettering, I could trace over Let's Be Valentines. But I don't. But I can even write over that in white and allow the black to show through like on the sides. I'm just going to write let's here just to see.
Yeah, it gives that shadow effect.
Yeah.
All right. So Sydney Sites wants to know, are there freeze-dried strawberries for the recipe in the freezer section, or are they dried?
So they are dry. So if, like when you get Special K cereal and there's strawberries in it, those ones. For those in Canada, the freeze-dried strawberries are at Dollarama. And they just so happen to be in a 20 gram package that the recipe calls for. But they're on Amazon. I bet you like maybe Trader Joe's or something like that.
Yeah.
But just Google it, freeze-dried strawberries, and you can use raspberries would be amazing, blueberries, pretty much
usually
whatever.
that's found in the nut section of the grocery stores, actually, the freeze-dried stuff.
Yeah. So, and then I found the flavor. I did use a little bit of strawberry extract in the recipe as well, because I found the freeze-dried strawberries didn't have quite enough punch. And you don't have to add the lemon if you don't want to, but the lemon is pretty nice. And like I said, don't be shy to put it in your royal icing either, in place of some of your water. But
I could see a big road trip to Canada, a bunch of us put all together and go. And Ed Custom says, "Can I ask where you're coming to Canada?" To go to Dollarama because Susan Trianos told us to. Oh, well, I know her. She's the Dollarama queen.
It's funny because I was in the States once, and all I wanted to do was go to Target to buy the big boxes of Mike and Ike's and all of that junk. And I came back and they're like, "What'd you buy?" I said, "Mike and Ike's." And the guy at the border goes, "Oh, the big box?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Go through."
Oh, that's so funny.
Oops, I just stuck my finger in my lettering. But you get the gist of that. And I don't really mind the look of the black in the background either.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. So I'm going to get my green bag, little hole in my green bag, and I'm just going to cut it a little bit bigger.
Now, when Heather
Sure.
Let's see. Yeah, you just keep moving, I guess.
Yeah.
Susan, plug your phone in. That's what Heather said. We have sound. Okay, so Lori can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah.
You can hear me, but nobody can hear us.
Weird.
So
let me just put my charger in my phone.
No, it's not you. I think it's the program that we're using because we can all hear each other.
Yeah.
Can anyone hear us? Oh, lovely. The internet, so much fun.
Isn't it though?
I had to go onto my I know, and we're so spoiled with it too, you know.
Yeah.
I had to go onto my cell phone because my internet went out at the house for whatever reason. That's what happened to me. See.
So I'm just.
Nobody can hear us. Okay.
That's okay.
All right.
So now in language.
Okay. Don't give them the finger. Okay. So
no, I would never.
Okay. So Lori, why don't you go ahead and put me up on screen, and then let's have Susan go off and then back on.
Okay.
Because she's going to carry it.
All
Let me
right.
move this over. Okay, so go ahead and log yourself off and then back on.
Okay.
And un momento. Puppy.
Let's see how to do that, how to log off.
Oh, you can probably just close the program and open it back up. Go to Facebook.
All right.
I'm entertaining with Puppy.
Oh.
La, 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 la. 1 second. Oh my gosh. 1 second. 1 second. See my lips. Second. I don't know why I'm whispering it if you can't hear me. So hold on 1 minute. Un momento. Un momento. Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. Called doggy abuse. Oh, look at them. You can hear me now? Okay. Oh, yay. Ow. Okay, so you can hear now. Yay. Okay. So sound. Why am I showing up that we have that's my Lori, how are you signed in as me on the iPad? Okay, so she's coming right back. Hold on 1 minute. Bear with us. I didn't want to lose the whole thing, so I came back on. She's logging off and logging on because that's the most important thing. Oh, it's our YouTube. Got it. You love my T-shirt, Sydney? It's the first semi retreat. Okay. She should be coming back on in just a second. Do you guys have any questions in the meantime that I can answer? Because is anybody getting a clear, like I'm totally clear on my end, which is unusual. Normally I'm not. Hold on. Oh no, look at that. I wasn't looking at the Facebook side of it. So usually I'm not clear on the broadcasting side and I am on Facebook. It's weird. Song and dance time. All right. So talk to me guys. Couple things. Couple things that I can tell you. I hate this because sometimes I can't tell things. So we're going to be in Austin at the end of March. And audio is now in sync. Yay, video's fuzzy. I can see it on my Facebook link. I think she may be coming back. She may. I'm clear for you. That's the first time I've ever been clear in my life. So you have two sides of things. Sometimes it's your internet, sometimes it's our internet, or it could be the internet through the programs as well. So the little brush that was for the balls was just one of those PYO brushes. They're tiny little brushes. And she just took the end of the end of it and that just used it to basically, with a little bit of piping gel, just to kind of move it over. You could probably use a wooden skewer if you wanted to. They're working on their end, guys, so just bear with us. I can see things happening, and you can kind of see when the half comes up blue screened. But that's what the little brush is. That's all. And it's ingenious because they're like pennies. And so the handle side is used for moving them back and forth. And then she kind of mushes it or scoots it along if it's not in a perfect place with the other side of where the brush is. So it's a great use. I love those kind of tools. Yes.
Yeah.
Can you all hear her?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you. You're now visible on her Fire Stick. Mitchie says she does something with her mini sugar shapers and shortening. Yep, same idea.
Yep.
All right, I'm assuming they can hear you because nobody's saying they can't.
Okay, good. So yeah,
I'm going away. Bye.
So just what Deb was saying, it's just my paint your own brush, and probably any paint brush would work. And I'm literally just getting a little bit of piping gel on the end to make it tacky, and it picks up whatever I need. And I can just, instead of using little tweezers and they bounce all over the place. And yeah. So I'm going to try this again because I got on a minute ago, and then as soon as I turned my camera, I think I lost you.
Gotcha.
So,
Well, I'm good at talking, if not.
okay, so let me turn this.
Here we
Oopsie.
go.
And I'm upside down, right?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so let me just take my
Oh, we're
phone.
all going to just stand on our heads.
Yeah.
And you stay still. A little more. We're doing good.
Yeah. There's something on my stand that's in the way from allowing me to turn it. So there we go. Okay. There.
All right. Now you kind of, there you go. Bring it, bring the top, the part of the phone that's furthest away from you down a little bit, and the phone that's the part of it that's closest to you up a little bit. There we go.
Okay.
A little bit more. Are you trying to get the pods into the center?
Yeah.
Okay, so just, oh, well, that's one way to do it. And then move the cookies away from you just a little bit. And you're about centered there. There we go.
Okay. Awesome. We're back.
Yay.
Sorry about that, guys.
Nothing keeps us down.
So, yeah, so this cookie here, I just outlined the brim of his hat in the green, and this one I flooded it. So you can flood things, you can just outline. One of these peas I will flood. And my icing again is like that soft peak consistency or marshmallow fluff. So I can get really nice round peas. And let's flood this one too.
How about your cues?
My what?
Cues. You get round peas. Do you get round cues? Sorry. It's
Peas and cues.
Sorry.
That's like a dad joke, Deb.
Yeah. They call them
just going to wiggle that out. And I'm going to finish doing the red glitter pearls here, but I'm going to use some red icing and just outline with red. Like you don't have to go crazy with the pearls. Like I've flooded that green there, and I can just put one little pearl up at the top to make it kind of shimmer a little bit. So I'm just going to put some piping gel on my table here, get the end of my tool a little sticky, and pour these in the lid so that I have some resistance when I push down on the little pearl, and I can just stick it in the icing like that. You don't have to, like I said, go crazy and add tons of these pearls, even though they're super pretty. I did right before we lost you guys, I added some little black pearls to his eyes so that they sparkle. And her lashes, if you want, you can go in with a marker and make her lashes more pronounced. And let's just do some more. And while I'm doing this, I can answer more questions if there are any.
Yep. Well, of course, Heather's going to cause some trouble.
Yep.
She wants to know if those cutters are going to be available on your website.
I can certainly make her some. Yep. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, I told you she's trouble.
And if she wants the images, like I've got an edible printer here. Like I can send you images along with your cutters too.
Oh.
Or does she have a printer?
She recently won a printer at the Simi retreat.
Nice.
Yeah.
Lucky girl.
I know. She was excited.
Which one did she win?
She won it's the entry-level printer.
Yep.
So.
Yep. So
she has two printers now because she did have one before.
Okay. And so she knows then. I was just going to give her the advice to, and you know what I do to keep my printer going? If I need to print something that is not edible, I will print like a shipping label or something just to keep my inks going.
Exactly.
And honestly, like, it's the same as, if I used my regular printer to print it.
Except when you get it wet, it will run. So cover your shipping label up with tape.
Oh, I do. You know what I do? I get from Dollarama. I get the page protectors and I cut them in half and I slip them inside there, and then tape that. Gotta love Dollarama.
And this broadcast is made
It's been
available
brought to you
by
by. Yeah.
The
But
website, Linda, is learntocake.com.
Yes.
Learntocake.com. The show that's not sponsoring us that should be is Dollarama, which is in Canada.
Right. And sometimes you get lucky and you put this in your pearls and it'll pick up 2 or 3.
Gotcha.
Which is always nice. But I don't know if any of the people watching saw the little cookie that I did for Christmas that said joy in the middle. And I used these little glittery guys and did like a candy cane trim, but they're lots of fun. Now I will say though, if you live in a humid climate, don't put them, like Canada, we're fine. We're much drier climate, but like if you're living in, South Beach or something and it's humid and you put your cookies in the fridge, these will melt because they're cornstarch. Gotcha. So they don't love super high humidity. Humidity in your house, that's fine, but humidity once you bring something out of the fridge, I wouldn't. And I tested them here in Canada, but we're also February.
It's just barely, but yeah.
So it's not humid here at all, but I did put some in the fridge and they were fine. But I'm told from the manufacturer, if it's super humid, not to put them in the fridge. But I mean, I never, I know a lot of people will message me and like, oh, I have an order next week and do I have to bake them on Thursday? Cookies are fine done the week before. And if you're putting them in a little cello bag, then you don't even have to worry about refrigeration and all that kind of stuff. So, and Deb, how are the from, I think with the smart sheets too, they would probably deal with humidity quite well.
Yeah, they don't care what the weather is.
Yeah.
It could be humid or dry. Yeah. When I first got them, I was in Vegas and I printed on them and I did all kinds of stuff to them and I left them out in Vegas. Then I brought them back to where we are, which is Four Seasons, and they sat on the counter for a year. Nothing affected it.
Yeah. And I mean, the fact that you can also print, paint your own paint palettes with them, and like get them wet and they don't disintegrate on you.
Right.
And you're so right. They are like the love child of wafer paper and icing sheets.
And Flex Frost. It was a threesome.
Right. Oh, geez. Now you're getting dirty.
We said love child. I meant I started
parents,
it.
I started it.
It takes a village. It was you. Yeah. No, just kidding.
I started it.
Victoria, yes, of course. This is always on playback. So just, it's going to be on YouTube as well as the Icing Images Facebook page and everything Icing Images. And I'm betting you shared the cake.
I will provide a link on my Instagram page tomorrow in my link in bio that will bring people from my page to the Facebook page.
Perfect.
To watch it as well, because I know some people were worried about missing it, and
so pretty much all of our lives are on our Facebook page. You can find them, and even on the YouTube page. So you can look for all the Susan Trianos lives through the years and find them all.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to have some fun and actually flood this pea pod. Why not?
Go to town.
Just to show that, you can add so much dimension. to what people would think is a cheat. it's,
Yeah.
it's not. I
It's
mean,
not.
you could
It's just,
say, then you could say projectors are cheating. Like
right.
you know what I mean? Like there's so,
And paintbrushes. Use your
and paper,
fingers.
any tool, right?
Yeah,
You
it
could
is a
say
tool, just like anything
is,
else.
yeah. So this icing is pretty thick because it's soft peak. So once I flood it, I'm just going to leave the tip of my piping bag in the icing without squeezing. And I'm going to jiggle as I kind of go down this pea pod. So typically if I was flooding the pea pod, my icing would be a little not so stiff. But, and you can always pick it up and give it a shake too.
Yeah,
Just
shake,
don't
shake,
drop it. Just don't drop it.
Right. Mitchie says we're frozen. I'm not seeing that, so it may be just on her end.
Yeah. And
Nope.
and if no one else is saying it,
Yeah.
then it could be, yeah, just on her end.
Mitchie
But
got
yeah.
frozen again.
She's not frozen now?
No, she got frozen again.
Oh.
It snowed there like a week ago in Vegas.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I know.
Weird weather. But that's basically it. I mean, you can just embellish however you want.
That's
But
adorable.
it's taking something that is going to help you along the way. And I do realize that adding all these little glitters takes time, but you don't have to do that.
You can do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want and just flood certain areas for dimension. And like I said, too, adding that, I just love that straw.
And I love the whole thing. I mean, when I saw the picture, I was like, that's all bling, because you could just, when you were moving it, and then it came to me, I'm like, oh my gosh, look at that. And it's lined up so nicely, you know?
Yeah, so when I put them on and they're not lined up nicely, I just use the brush side to kind of put them back in a row.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That really is. I love it.
Simple, but just, you know, taking those images and jazzing them up a little bit. Your logos, if you do logo cookies, you can just, you know, outline around the lettering or outline part of the logo.
Yeah.
Just for some dimension and yeah, have fun. And don't let anybody tell you you're cheating.
No. They used to say that in the cake industry. And I remember before, like, images are allowed in competition now, and they were before. So it's not just about a flat surface. It can be. Right. And a lot of people want that. And for volume, that's great. You could never do these little cookies in volume, and, you know, otherwise. Hey, get upside down.
There we go.
Yeah, so I just kind of I like to hit things straight on when people say things like that. It's to each their own. Everybody has a different purpose, a different desire. You know, some people use gum paste, some people don't. You know,
this is it. I posted these cookies, my Christmas cookie with the candy cane and the joy written in glitter. And somebody said, you know, just leave it simple. Why all the extra stuff? And I'm like, to each their own. For me, this is simple.
Yeah.
You know,
and you could even take like the logo and instead of outlining it, just add a couple of the pearls and it brings the dimension.
Yep.
So that's awesome. Yay. That's so nice to see you.
You too. And I'll see you in Austin. I can't wait.
I know.
And hopefully I get to see you in Miami and at CookieCon as well, but I won't know that until March. So fingers crossed.
Yep. Either way, fingers crossed.
And if anybody has any questions or, you know, they're looking for something, like if you're Canadian and you want to order the smart sheets and you can't find it, just
Dollarama.
Yeah, Dollarama. But message me. I'm really good at getting back to people. And if you have any questions.
Yeah. Yeah. And you are a distributor for us. A lot of people don't know that. So
have paper potion, the icing sheets. I've got some inks here, edible, like if you have the mega tank, which Deb, oh my gosh, can I tell you, I love that printer. So